Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you guys are. Guys, I was going to do a live stream last couple of days. I've been really sick and ill. Um, I've not been blessed the last couple of years. I've been falling ill. I've got a mad throat ache, which I've been suffering from years. But yeah, been feeling like crap. So yeah, I was going to do a live stream this week. I did on Monday, but I was going to do quite a few. But unfortunately, due to like health, I couldn't do it, man. So yeah, if I feel better tomorrow, hopefully we'll do another live stream tomorrow. But yeah, just throat's feeling uncomfortable. But yeah, thank you guys for your support, smashing the like button. If you can smash the like button on this video, I really appreciate your support. And I really appreciate you guys. I've got to address a few points in this video, which, some of my subscribers have asked me to do. Firstly, I want to talk about Joshua Buatsi and Dmitry Bivol. It looks like Joshua Buatsi and Dmitry Bivol is in the works. And obviously we heard last week that Buatsi was going to fight John Pascal for the IBF Eliminator. But it looks like Eddie Hearn is really trying to push a Joshua Buatsi and Dmitry Bivol fight. He's trying to make that fight. Maybe he wants to fight in the UK because he knows it's a big fight and it does good business for DAZN, which I don't really subscribe to that thought. I don't think it's that big a fight here. I don't think Dmitry Bivol, although he just beat Canelo, I don't think it's as big a fight as what some people think. But nonetheless, it still would be a big fight. It'd probably be one of the biggest fights they've done here in the UK on DAZN. So I can see why he's desperate to put it on. In terms of Zordo Ramirez, what's going on with his? Because I thought he was the mandatory, and I thought Bivol had no choice but to fight Zordo Ramirez. So I don't know whether, maybe Zordo will take a step aside money, but I'd like to think how much money would be in the pot for them to pay him step aside. I don't know what's going off with that situation. It looked like Bivol and Ramirez was done. And let's be brutally honest, that's a much better fight than Buatsi Bivol. To be honest with you, I think Ramirez is a Mexican, and I just think there'll be a bigger push for that fight. I think there'll be a lot of people, especially in America, that would watch it. So yeah, I'd be more interested in a Ramirez fight. Obviously, the fact that I'm a UK fan, I wouldn't mind the Buatsi fight as well. I just don't think it's a good career move for Buatsi at this point. I don't think he's ready. I think his last fight against Craig Richards showed that I think Bivol would be too much for him. There's still a lot to work on, and I think Virgil Hunter kind of said it all in the post-fight press conference. He doesn't think Buatsi's ready. I know Eddie Hearn in an interview said, well, Virgil Hunter's agreed. Yeah, when it comes to money and pushing someone's career, Eddie Hearn wants to get him a title shot. But at the end of the day, Virgil Hunter knows what's the best way for Buatsi to progress. And unfortunately, I don't think fighting Bivol next would be the best fight for him, because I don't think he wins that fight. I think a Pascal fight probably makes more sense, but I think the way they're looking at it that there's a chance that they may lose to Pascal. If we fight Pascal, we may lose that fight, and then, there's not a lot, there's a lot of risk, but not much to gain fighting Pascal. So I can see why Eddie Hearn is trying to jump the queue get Buatsi to jump the queue and fight Bivol right away, because he may lose to Pascal, and if he loses to Pascal, he hasn't even got he's not going to get his world title shot. So I can see why, he wants Buatsi to fight Bivol next. I would rather him fight Pascal and Ramirez fight Bivol. I'd love to know your guys' opinion on it. What do you guys think? Do you think it's a blatant? Do you think it's Bivol and his team avoiding the Ramirez fight? I don't think so. I think Bivol would fight anybody. I think it's Eddie Hearn trying to make the Bivol Buatsi fight, and I think he might. Eddie Hearn's the type of guy where he pushes stuff out there that he has no control over. So because he's trying to make Bivol Buatsi. So I think he's trying to wish it into existence, rather than actually legally what is going to actually happen. Because if Oscar De La Hoya and Ramirez want the fight and they are the mandatory, then Bivol has nowhere to go. He has to fight Ramirez. So Eddie Hearn might be just wishing things into existence right now, when there has no chance of it happening if Ramirez pushes through the mandatory. You know, if he is entitled to fight Bivol next, if he is entitled to fight Bivol next, I don't think Ramirez and Oscar De La Hoya are going to step aside. I think they want that fight. You know, Oscar wants that fight, so I can't see them stepping aside. I think it makes a lot of sense for Ramirez at this point. He's pretty unproven. He's not really fought anybody, and you know he's getting older. He's 40 something and oh, so it's time for him to really take the stabilizer off and fight somebody of elite. Now I've said that I think Bivol beats him. I think Ramirez is a bit too sloppy, a bit robotic, but a lot of you guys seem to think that, you know, Ramirez could actually beat Dmitry Bivol. So let's find out. You know, I want to see that fight. But it does look like Eddie Hearn is pushing the Buatsi fight. Is that a fight that's going to happen next? Who knows? Guys, Daniel Chambers, a shout out to Daniel Chambers. Daniel Chambers wanted me to talk about the Daniel Dubois, Don King situation. I think it's pretty horrible when a fighter doesn't get paid. You know, Don King has had this history in the past, and it's pretty sad that, you know, Daniel Dubois came to his country, knocked out his fighter in front of his eyes, and you know, the cheek as well when Daniel Dubois was leaving the stadium, leaving the arena, whatever it was, like a wedding hall, the show that he put on, and Don King looked Dubois in the eye and said, "You're a great fighter," shook his hand. You know, it's just not a good look, is it? It's just not a good look, and that's probably the end of Don King, in the sense that who's going to want to work with Don King now? No one's going to work with Don King, in my opinion. It's wrong. It's wrong. You know, a fighter puts his life on the line. A fighter deserves to be paid. And Dubois went there, beat the guy, beat his fighter, took the belt off him. Even though it was a regular belt, he should be paid. You know, that's my opinion on it. I think it's wrong. Don King has a history of that, and maybe some will say that it was naive for Frank Warren and Daniel Dubois to go over there. Maybe they should have said no, and maybe rejected going there, and maybe look for another option. But I think they were looking at it from a leverage point of view. They were looking at it. Dubois has been beat by Joe Joyce. If Dubois beats Trevor Bryan and wins a WBO regular belt, he then puts himself in a position where, you know, people may want to fight him because of the regular belt, even though I don't think people are going to want to fight him for a regular belt, not the top guys anyway. But if for Frank Warren and Dubois, it feels like it gives them a bit of a leverage, hence why they went over there and took the risk. I just think with Don King's history, I think they should have thought twice. So yeah, some people will say it's naive, but nonetheless, you trust somebody. If somebody gives you their word, somebody that's been in the game as long as Don King, you should, you know, you take their word for it. And Don King put up a lot of money for the fight, according to Frank Warren, and just the event that he put on, you could smell something fishy was going on, because the arena where the fight was happening, it looked like a wedding hall. It looked terrible. It didn't look like a proper arena. So it looked like someone was having a wedding rather than a fight. So just the setting was bizarre. Everything about it was just bizarre. And yeah, and Frank Warren, for me, had his doubts prior, because he got asked questions prior to the fight that, do you think Dubois will get paid? And he said, yeah, you know, he will get paid. And he hasn't. So these questions were being asked way before the event. So you can kind of say that it was naive, but like I said, I think they did it for leverage. They thought that by becoming a WBA regular champion, they'd have a lot of leverage and Dubois will be able to get big fights. But yeah, I don't know if he's going to get paid. I don't know what's going to happen. He's suing Don King now, but God knows what's going to happen. Sad state of affairs. I hope for Dubois' sake he gets paid, because, you know, a fighter spends a lot of money in training camp, paying trainers, because what you got to realize is there's a lot of people around Dubois that wouldn't have got paid. His trainer wouldn't have got paid. You know, his promoter wouldn't have got paid. Your promoter can live, he's got a lot of fights, but a lot of other people around Dubois that would need that money, he himself, because training camp costs money, bringing in sparring partners. You know, so yeah, I feel sorry for Dubois. You know, he went over there, went to the guy's backyard, beat him. Don't get me wrong, I always thought it was an easy fight. I didn't think that Bryan would give him a fight, and he didn't in the end. But nonetheless, a fighter that puts it on the line deserves to be paid if he, you know, and he hasn't been. So leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.